My name's Ryan, and if I ever had even the slightest illusion about where I stood in my family, well, that illusion shattered into 1,000 pieces the day I found out about my parents' will. And you know what? It wasn't some tearful family meeting or some heart-to-heart where my parents sat me down and explained their plans for the future. No, nothing even close. I stumbled across the truth by complete accident. Just dumb luck. It was a few months back. I was over at their place, same house I'd basically been helping to keep afloat for the past 5 years. I'm talking mortgage payments, grocery runs, handyman repairs, pretty much everything that kept the place running. And the whole time, my younger brother Logan? He was doing a grand total of 0. Seriously, the guy couldn't lift a finger if his life depended on it. No job. No bills. No responsibilities. Just lounging around like he was some kind of minor royal waiting for the crown to drop into his lap. And the worst part? My parents? Oh, they were completely on board with it. Happy to play along with the fantasy that Logan was still just figuring things out. Anyway, that particular day, my dad had asked me to help sort through some paperwork. He never could be bothered to keep his files in order, and I was the one with enough patience and know how to deal with that kind of stuff. So there I was, at the kitchen table, scanning through folders filled with old tax documents, bank statements, utility records, the usual adult chaos. And that's when I saw it. A plain folder buried in the middle of the pile, marked in black ink, estate plan and last will and testament. Now, I'm not the type to go snooping. But come on. After all I'd done for them, after all the sacrifices I'd made, was it really so out of line to be curious about how they'd set things up? So yeah, I opened it. And what I found, it felt like a punch to the gut. Everything. And I mean everything. The house. Their savings. Every last asset. All of it, going to Logan. My name wasn't just missing. It was an afterthought. One lonely sentence buried in a generic line about loving both sons equally. Equally. Give me a break. That's the moment it hit me like a freight train. I wasn't a son to them. I was a utility. A walking ATM with a familiar face. And all this time, while I'd been burning myself out trying to support them, they were planning to hand the entire damn empire to the one person who hadn't earned a thing. I sat there, frozen, just staring at the paper, my hands trembling with a toxic mix of disbelief, fury, and heartbreak. How long had this been in the works? Had they always intended for Logan to inherit everything while I got nothing? Were they really that blind, or did they just not care? Eventually, my dad wandered back into the room. "Hey, Ryan, what's taking so long?" he asked, casual as ever. I didn't even try to hide the folder. I held it up and looked him straight in the eye. "So this is how it is," I said, voice low and steady, though I could feel the anger boiling beneath the surface. "Everything to Logan? After everything I've done for you?" For a second, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. But then, get this, he sighed. Like I was just being dramatic. Like I was some brat throwing a tantrum because I didn't get the bigger slice of cake. "Ryan, it's not what you think," he said, with all the enthusiasm of someone explaining a parking ticket. "Really?" I snapped. "Because it looks pretty damn clear to me. I've been paying your mortgage, doing your grocery shopping, fixing your pipes, your roof, your everything. Logan's done nothing, and he gets the whole pie. You don't see a problem with that?" He looked uncomfortable. Shifted in place. Scratched the back of his neck. And then he gave me the most pathetic excuse I've ever heard. "It's complicated." That's it. That's all he had to offer me. No apology. No explanation. Just those two useless words, like they were supposed to make everything okay. I should have walked out right then and there. But no, I needed to hear it from both of them. So I called out for my mom. She came in, took one look at the will in my hands, and her expression changed. Not shocked. Not defensive. No, she looked guilty. But what she said next. That's the part that really broke me. Ryan, sweetie, you don't need the inheritance, she said, all soft and sweet, like I was a toddler who didn't understand how the world works. You have a great job. You're doing so well on your own. Logan, he's struggling. We just want to make sure he's okay. And that was it. That was the moment I realized they had made their choice a long time ago. Logan wasn't just the favorite, he was the only one they were planning for. And me? I was just the safety net. The background character. The guy who kept the lights on until it was time to hand over the keys. I placed the folder gently on the table, took a long breath, and said, "Got it." My voice came out calm, almost too calm. Then I turned and walked straight out the door. No goodbyes. No second chances. I didn't even flinch when the screen door slammed behind me. That was the last time I stepped foot in that house. I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't check in. For the first time in years, I let them fend for themselves. If something broke, they could fix it. If they ran out of milk, they could figure it out. And if that mortgage bill showed up in the mail, well, they better hope Logan figured out how to use a checkbook. The silence lasted about 2 weeks. I'm sure at first they thought I was just being moody, that I'd come crawling back like always. Maybe they expected some groveling apology for daring to be upset. But then, the days turned into weeks. And more importantly, the money stopped flowing. That's when the shift happened. One afternoon, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Dad, "The property taxes are due." No, hi. No, hope you're okay. No, thanks for everything you've done. Just that. Like I was still some kind of on-call accountant they could summon whenever the bills rolled in. I stared at the message, almost laughing. They really thought I'd just snap back into place, huh? That I'd forget everything and go right back to being the family wallet? I texted back, calm and simple, "I'm sure Logan will handle it, since the house is his and all." Exactly 5 minutes later, my phone rang. It was Mom. I let it go to voicemail. Then another text popped up. "Ryan, please don't be like this. We need to talk." That was the message I woke up to. 5 short words. No, hi, no, how are you, no context. Just a command. Funny how silence turns into urgency the moment life stops handing you favors. I stared at the screen for a full hour, phone face up on the kitchen table, untouched next to my half-eaten toast. We need to talk. Now that the bills were closing in. Now that their precious plan had backfired. Now they wanted a conversation. I finally replied, dry and clean. There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice. Now you can live with it. I put my phone down and walked away. That should have been the end of it, at least for the day. But of course, the people who once called me selfless couldn't accept silence unless it was convenient for them. Later that night, Logan's name lit up my screen. Just seeing it made my stomach twist. My thumb hovered over the notification. I already knew it'd be something smug, some version of, "Come on, man." I was right. Logan. Dude, why are you acting like this? It's not even a big deal. Just help them out. Like always. That last line. Like always. That hit differently. I typed back without thinking. Nah. I think you've got this. You're their chosen one now, right? He responded instantly. Logan. Oh my God. Are you seriously still mad about the will? It's just money, bro, grow up. Just money. Coming from the guy who never worked a 40-hour week in his life. Who thought Ubering twice a week made him hustle-minded. Now that the inheritance had his name on it, suddenly money was meaningless. I replied. Cool. Then you can use some of it for the mortgage. Silence. Exactly. I leaned back on my couch, watching the screen like it was some slow-burn TV show. I didn't even have to wait long for the next twist. Mom. Ryan. We're your parents. Family takes care of each other. We gave you everything. And now you're turning your back on us. Turning my back. That one stopped me cold. No. No, they didn't get to flip the script like that. I had given up more than they'd ever know. Late night shifts. Missed rent. Putting off my own life to clean up their messes. And they turned around and handed everything to the son who barely showed up. I typed slowly. You turned your back on me the second you left me out of the will. You made it clear where I stand. So ask Logan. I didn't even finish typing before I pictured her reaction, hands on her chest, the dramatic sigh, the "how could he" look she practiced like an Olympic routine. A few minutes later came the final cherry on the guilt train sundae. Dad. We're not asking for much. Just a few months of mortgage help until we get on our feet. Don't be selfish. That word. Selfish. It echoed in my chest like a slap. I had sacrificed years of peace, of growth, of financial stability, for them. I stayed when Logan disappeared. I cleaned up when they made bad decisions. And now, I'm the selfish one. I stared at the message until the screen dimmed, then wrote. No. I'm done. Then I powered off my phone. That silence they feared so much. They were going to sit in it. The next morning, I woke up early. I stretched, made coffee, sat by the window as the city slowly came alive. It should have been peaceful. But then my phone buzzed. Bank transfer request. From Mom. Amount, $4,000. No message. No question. Just the number, bold and clean. Like I was a bank and they were cashing in. I stared at it. Honestly, I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. The gall. The expectation. I declined it. 5 minutes later, the phone rang. Mom. I let it go to voicemail. Then came the inevitable text. Mom. Ryan. I know you saw the request. Why did you decline it? I replied. Because I'm not responsible for your choices. Try Logan. 2 minutes later. Mom. We're going to lose the house if you don't help us. Oh. Now it was that serious. Now we're crying wolf. I texted back without flinching. Maybe you should have thought about that before deciding I didn't matter. Then he chimed in again. Dad. You're really going to let your parents become homeless? That one genuinely made me laugh. Loud. Alone. In the middle of my kitchen. Homeless. Please. They had retirement funds, investments, 2 cars, and a fully stocked fridge last I checked. What they meant was, we don't want to change our lifestyle. Not, we're sleeping in the street. I ignored it. That night, another message from Logan. Logan. Just send the money, man. You're blowing this way out of proportion. I clenched my jaw. Me. The money you're inheriting. Why don't you send it? Logan. You know I don't have it right now. Me. Then figure it out. You're the one they chose. No reply. I slept better that night than I had in months. But peace never lasts long. Next day, 10:17 a.m. I was at work, finally in the zone, when my phone buzzed. Front desk. Hey, Ryan. Your parents are here. I blinked. What? They said it's an emergency. That you've been ignoring them. I stood up so fast my chair slammed against the wall. You're kidding. I wish I was. They're at the entrance. Asking to come up. I closed my eyes, pinching the bridge of my nose. Do not let them in. I'm not expecting visitors. A pause. They're being kinda persistent. I didn't care. They can stand out there all day. Don't let them in. I hung up and turned off my phone. Then it started again. Buzz. Mom. We're downstairs. Open the door. Buzz. Mom. Ryan. We're not leaving until you talk to us. I grabbed my coat and keys. If they wanted a confrontation, they were about to get it. And this time, I wasn't backing down. I was furious. Not just annoyed, furious. The sheer audacity of these people to show up at my home, uninvited, demanding money like I was some kind of 24/7 ATM with a family discount button. No warning. No apology. Not even a single damn call. Just, a full-blown ambush. They really thought I'd fold. Like I was still the spineless kid who cleaned up after every one of their messes. Like I'd roll over just because they showed up in person. I yanked open the door. And there they were. Mom, Dad, and Logan. Of course, Logan. They stood in this neat little triangle, like some kind of staged reunion photo. Mom had her arms crossed, her "I'm so disappointed" face locked in, already trembling on the edge of tears. Dad looked like he'd rather be anywhere else but refused to admit it. And Logan? Logan looked bored. He actually yawned when our eyes met. That snapped something in me. Ryan, Mom started, stepping forward like I was a runaway dog. Finally. We need to talk. I leaned against the frame, arms folded. Calm. Controlled. But my jaw was clenched so tight it ached. No. You need to leave. She blinked. Stumbled, like she couldn't compute what I just said. Excuse me. You heard me, I said, flatly. You don't get to barge into my life, uninvited, and demand money like I owe you something. That's insane. Dad scoffed. So you're really gonna let us lose the house? Over what, a grudge? I laughed. Cold. Empty. Oh, you mean the grudge where you decided I was good enough to pay your bills but not good enough to be in your will? That grudge. Mom gasped, her hand flying to her chest like she'd been shot. Ryan. That's not fair. We did what we thought was best for the family. I tilted my head. No, you did what was best for Logan. Let's not pretend. Silence. The kind that stretches, that presses down on your lungs and makes breathing feel optional. Then Logan finally opened his mouth, his voice as casual as a weather report. Look, man, I didn't ask for any of this. I turned to him. Something in me cracked open. No. You just sat back and took everything that was handed to you. You're 28, Logan. Get a job. A real one. For once in your damn life. He flushed, face turning that deep, blotchy red he always got when someone told him the truth. Dude, what the hell? You want to be the golden boy? I snapped. Start acting like one. You want the house. The legacy. Great. Step up. Pay the damn bills. Logan looked down. Couldn't even meet my eyes. Spineless. Mom tried again, her voice softer now, like I was a child she had to soothe. Ryan, he's your brother. I nodded. Yep. And I've supported him longer than either of you ever did. Dad's expression darkened. You're being selfish. That got a real laugh out of me. Selfish? That's rich coming from the man who cut his own son out of the will. You chose your favorite, and now you want me to clean up the mess. Not happening. Mom's voice sharpened. We thought you'd be mature about this. Mature? I repeated. You mean shut up and keep sending money while pretending I'm not invisible? That kind of mature. Dad stepped closer, trying that old intimidation tactic, tall, looming, fake authoritative. It didn't work anymore. We raised you. We gave you everything. The least you can do is help us now. I looked him dead in the eye. No fear. No filter. I did help. For years. Quietly. Without complaints. And you repaid me by writing me out of your life with a pen stroke. Mom's lip quivered. We thought you'd understand. I do, I said, voice steady. I understand that I was never your son. I was your safety net. And now that you've burned it, you're panicking. Another silence. Logan shifted his weight, still pretending the concrete beneath him was the most fascinating thing he'd ever seen. I turned to him. And you, what's your excuse? You had years to grow up, to stop being a leech, to carry your own weight. But you didn't. Because they protected you. Because they knew I'd fill the gap. Logan finally snapped. What do you want me to say, man? I didn't ask for this. I stared at him. No. You just benefited. His mouth opened, then closed. Nothing. Just that same useless stare. Then, Mom tried the last card in the deck. The classic line. Ryan. We're family. Family takes care of each other. I nodded slowly. Exactly. So why didn't you take care of me? Her mouth opened, but the words didn't come. No one had an answer. I let the silence sit. Let it marinate. Then I stepped back and closed the door. Click. No yelling. No drama. Just peace. For the first time in years, I felt light. Then came the buzz. My phone. A text. Dad. Wow. After everything we've done for you. You're really gonna abandon us? I smirked, thumb flying over the screen. Me. No. You abandoned me. I'm just finally accepting it. Then I blocked them all. One by one. It felt like a cleanse. Like exhaling a weight I didn't realize I'd been carrying. But I should have known. I should have known it wouldn't end there. Less than 24 hours later, it all blew up. My parents discovered Facebook. They weren't tech-savvy, but guilt. Oh, they were Olympic-level athletes in that sport. And social media? That was their new stage. At first, I laughed. Mom posted something vague. A sad sunset photo, captioned, I didn't raise my son to be this selfish. True family helps each other, no matter what. Her friends, of course, swarmed the comments. That's so heartbreaking. You deserve better. What happened to kids these days? Then came Dad's post. A long, winding essay. So-called family should never turn their back on you in your time of need. We gave everything to our children. And now we're left with silence. Abandoned. Forgotten. I hope you're happy. He tagged me. I stared at the tag notification for a full minute before I laughed. Loud, bitter, real. But Logan didn't want to miss out on the drama. He shared Dad's post and added his own little gem. Some people think family is just about money. They don't understand it's about love. Sacrifice. I'd do anything for my parents, but some people just don't get that. Right. Some people. The hypocrisy was staggering. But I didn't comment. Didn't respond. Because while they were screaming into the void, I was finally learning how to be silent. And for once, it wasn't about shame. It was about peace. They really thought I wouldn't say anything. That I'd just sit there, take the hits, let them rewrite the story to make themselves look like martyrs. Like I was the heartless one. Logan's post was the final straw. Some people think family is just about money. I wish they'd learn what it really means to love the people who raised them. He didn't mention me by name, but he didn't have to. Everyone knew who he was talking about. And suddenly, I wasn't angry. I was empty. Hollowed out. Because for the first time in my life, I saw it clearly. They didn't love me. Not really. Not for who I was. Only for what I gave. I sat there on the couch, staring at the screen. Not moving. Barely breathing. They had turned the entire thing around. Made me the villain. The ungrateful son. The one who turned his back on his poor, helpless parents after everything they'd done for him. They made it look like I just quit. Like I stopped caring. But the truth was, I never stopped caring. I just got tired of being used. I waited a few hours. I didn't want to post something out of rage. I needed to be clear. Controlled. Precise. So when I finally picked up my phone, I wasn't just venting. I was cutting the cord. Here's what I wrote. Asterisk, I've stayed quiet out of respect. But I can't anymore. My family has been posting things that are manipulative and false. So here's the truth. From the moment I was old enough to work, I helped. I paid bills, covered groceries, paid for repairs, helped with taxes, even vacations. I've supported my family more than they'll ever admit. But support should come with respect. What I got instead was silence. Exclusion. Betrayal. I recently learned that everything, the house, the savings, the future, was left to my brother Logan. Not me. Not even a conversation. Just, gone. They decided I was good enough to pay their bills, but not good enough to be part of the family when it mattered. Logan is 28 years old and hasn't held a job for more than a month. My parents still treat him like a child, shielding him from responsibility while expecting me to carry everything. And I did. For years. But I'm done. This isn't me turning my back on family. This is me choosing myself for once. I won't be a wallet with legs anymore. I'm a person. I have limits. And I've reached them. To those defending my parents, I get it. You see the Facebook posts and feel bad for them. But you haven't lived it. You don't know what it's like to be used until you're empty and then called selfish for saying no. Asterisk. I hit post. And for the first time, I exhaled. The weight didn't fall off all at once. But it shifted. Like I'd finally dropped a bag I didn't realize I was still carrying. And then the reaction started. A few of my cousins messaged me privately. I had no idea, man. I'm sorry they put you through that. Even one of my aunts, my mom's sister, liked the post and sent me a quiet, proud of you. For a second, I thought maybe I could just move on. But of course, that's not how it went. Logan was first. You're a traitor, he texted. Can't believe you aired our dirty laundry like that. You've got no respect. Then came Dad. He didn't text, he called. I picked up out of instinct. His voice came through the speaker, loud and furious. You've ruined everything, Ryan. You'll regret this. You think the world owes you something? After all we've done. And I just hung up. Blocked his number. Blocked Mom. Blocked Logan. Done. No more late-night guilt calls. No more sudden emergencies that only I could fix. No more pretending I had a family who saw me. The silence after that. It was terrifying. And then, it was peaceful. Over the next few days, I started to feel lighter. I woke up without a pit in my stomach. I opened my fridge and didn't think about what I needed to send them. For the first time in years, I felt like me again. So no. I don't feel bad for walking away. I feel free. I didn't abandon my family. I just stopped letting them abandon me over and over again while calling it love. And from now on, I'll build a life with people who show up. Who love me because they mean it, not because I'm useful. That chapter's closed. And I'm finally moving forward.